Let's talk today about some of the key differences between a joint venture and a teaming agreement. A lot of times I see these two things confused in the market, and so I want to try to help you figure this out a little bit today. So, a joint venture is a legal entity. So, when I create a joint venture, that's what I'm creating. I'm literally registering a company name with whatever state it is that you're going to register it in. I'm going getting bank accounts and all those types of things, just like you were setting up a brand new company. The only difference is there's one owner, typically your company, and the second owner, another company, whether it's a big company, a large company, whatever it is. There's two different companies that own the joint venture, hence the name. It's a joint venture. And so that is a legal entity, has to file taxes, all those different things, all that stuff applies. And people talk about this a lot when they are thinking about the mentor protege program. That's when joint venture comes up a whole lot, because there are benefits to a large company joining a small in the mentor protege program and creating this joint venture. A lot of benefits there. However, that's not the only time people create joint ventures. It's extremely common in the construction industry. Two companies will get together and say, hey, we're going to go work on this building project. And instead of doing that as company A and company B, let's form a joint venture. Let's run all the money through that joint venture. That way we'll both have some control on how we get paid, all that kind of stuff. But just understand that a joint venture is a legal entity. It files taxes. It operates as a regular independent company. It's owned by two or more entities. Again, hence the name joint venture. When it comes to a teaming agreement, you're not forming a company. You're not. All you're doing is signing an agreement that says, hey, we're going to go chase this work together. We're going to be on a team, and it should break down what you're going to do. We always recommend, instead of looking for a percentage of work, you look at specific task areas. So, hey, my company is going to focus on task areas 1 through 5. Yours is going to focus on 6 through 10. That's how we're going to divvy up the work, and that is our teaming agreement. Now, when you are approaching a big contract, a lot of times you will see multiple teaming agreements in place. I've actually seen this where I was actually part of a team. It was a multi-billion dollar IDIQ, and I think there were 13, maybe 14 different teams, and the prime had teaming agreements with each of the subs that were on the team. And so they had separate agreements for each of the subs. My agreement said, hey, we're going to focus on these couple of task areas. The other guys had their task areas and that sort of thing. But it's not a legal entity. We still have our own corporations. We file our own taxes, all that kind of stuff. It's just our agreement as a team, the work we're going to go after together, and then how we're going to divide that work and that sort of thing. And so from my perspective, a lot of times a teaming agreement is what you need. A lot of times you're not looking for a joint venture. It depends on what you're doing. It depends on what your goals are. You may need to consult an attorney for that. But look, a lot of times, if it's just company A and company B chasing some work with an organization, a lot of times a teaming agreement will suffice. That's all you need. People get wrapped up around, well, hey, what about, this person's small or this one's SDVOSB or whatever. Hey, the person with all the statuses should probably be the prime, and they should do 51% of the work. You can also dig down into that and, well, how much is technically 51% and all? Hey, that's for another day. My point today is a lot of times a teaming agreement is all you need. When it's more complicated, then we get into JVs and legal entities and that sort of thing. So, big takeaway today, a JV is a legal entity, whereas a teaming agreement, not a legal entity. It's just an agreement between two companies or more that on how they're going to do work. That's all it is. And a lot of times a teaming agreement will suffice. So let me know if you have questions about this. There's a ton of little nuances about this that would make you choose one over the other. And again, I'm not trying to say one's better than the other, but just do your research, figure out which one's best for you. Let me know if you have any questions. See you next time.